The Palace of Oyo has affirmed the demise of the Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi. The representative for the late Oba, Mr. Bode Durojaye, affirmed the demise in a curt reaction to a request by our reporter. He said, "Alaafin is dead. Subtleties at the appointed time." It was accumulated that the octogenarian ruler kicked the bucket on Friday night in Ado Ekiti, the Ekiti State Capital, after a concise ailment. Sources at the castle affirmed the demise of the customary ruler to our journalist on Saturday morning. Sources said the governor of the state, Seyi Makinde, had been educated regarding the entry of the ruler. The ruler, who timed 83 years on October 15, was purportedly getting treatment at the Babalola University Teaching Hospital, Ado Ekiti, where he surrendered the apparition. The remaining parts of one of the chief customary rulers in the nation were said to have been taken back to Oyo immediately. It was additionally assembled that transitional experiences have begun for the late Oba, who ruled for quite some time. Oba Adeyemi was brought into the world on October 15, 1938. The ruler is the third noticeable Oba to have passed on in Oyo State in under 5 months. The son of Agbamoso, Oba Octogenarian, passed on December 12, 2021. The late Olubadan of Ibadan kicked the bucket on January 2, 2022, and the Alaafin passed on April 22. Likewise, the Azagangan of Igangan, Oba Abdulaziz Aduwaye, kicked the bucket in December 2021, and the ruler of Ikoyi town in Oriyar local government area of Oyo State, Oba Abdulakin Awila, passed on in April 2022. It was accumulated that the octogenarian ruler kicked the bucket on Friday night in Ado Ekiti, the Ekiti State Capital, after a concise sickness. Sources at the castle affirmed the demise of the customary ruler to our reporter on Saturday morning. Sources said the governor of the state, Seyi Makinde, had been educated regarding the entry of the ruler. The ruler, who timed 83 years on October 15, was supposedly getting treatment at the Babalola University Teaching Hospital, Ado Ekiti, where he surrendered the phantom positions held during his rule. Oba Adeyemi for all time led the Oyo State Council of Obas and Chiefs. In 1975, the head of state, General Murtala Muhammad, remembered Oba Adeyemi for his company to the Hajj. Instructive arrangement. In 1980, he was delegated as the Chancellor of Alaafin of Oyo University in Sokoto. He stood firm on the foothold till 1992. Strict arrangement. In 1990, President Ibrahim Babangida named him Amir al-Hajj in acknowledgement of his obligation to the solidification of Islam in Nigeria. Day-to-day life. Alaafin was hitched to Oba Adeyemi, his senior spouse. Be that as it may, he had around 12 junior spouses, whom he went to occasions with. His lesser spouses included Oba Ramat Adedayo Adeyemi, Oba Mujadat Adeyemi, Oba Rukayat Adeyemi, Oba Falashade Adeyemi, Oba Badarad Ajoke Adeyemi, Oba Miminat Amawanmi Adeyemi, Oba Umabolanol Adeyemi, Oba Moti Adeyemi, Oba Anualuwapo Adeyemi, and Oba Damalola Adeyemi. The Alaafin has various youngsters, however the specific number is questionable. Lamidi Adeyemi, Alaafin of Oyo, is dead. The cable took in the Alaafin had been sick, however later surrendered to his disease. He was 83 years of age and had been on the privileged position for a considerable length of time, the longest dominant ruler. The ruler was said to have passed on at Babalola Teaching Hospital, Ado Ekiti, late on Friday. A royal residence source said his remaining parts have been gotten by his youngsters at Idi Igba, adding that customary interment rituals have started right away. Oba Adeyemi has joined his progenitors. He was solid until his demise at 83. He is the most cerebral Alaafin throughout the entire existence of Oyo domain. He saw history and put it into utilization as Alaafin. He was on top of civilization and present-day history too. To that end his rule will be associated with ages, the source said. Yusufiullah, the top of the Oyomezi and Basin of Oyo, will take over forthcoming the arrangement of another Alaafin. Adeyemi succeeded Alaafin Badajasin Ladigbolu II in 1970 and was delegated on January 14, 1971. To set him up for the lofty position, Adeyemi lived in a few royal residences in certain pieces of Yoruba land. An admirer of boxing, the ruler is known for wedding a few young ladies at his advanced age. In 2018, the Lord had 3 arrangements of twins from 3 of his sovereigns. Alaafin of Oyo Oba Lamidi Adeyemi has in Adeyemi passed on in the late long stretches of Friday at the Babalola University Teaching Hospital, Ado Ekiti, Ekiti State. The ruler, who had been debilitated and was because of movement abroad for more clinical treatment when he passed late. A family source said all courses of action to fly the Alaafin was at that point set up and that tickets for a couple of spouses that would go with him were at that point bought. The remaining parts of the regal dead has since been Oyo in the early long stretches of Saturday and conventional rituals started, castle sources say. The late Alaafin Adeyemi was the third from the Alaafin ruling house and the longest dominant Alaafin ever, having controlled for quite some time. Alaafin of Oyo spotted with new Igbo spouse, Kaima. The governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, is supposed to make an authority declaration after getting the report of the rulers passing from the Basharan of Oyo, Yusuf Akinade, the top of the Oyo Mizi, who will presently lead Oyo before another Alaafin is introduced. His passing comes after the 2 other senior Oyo state rulers, the Olubadan of Ibadan, Saliu Adetunji, and the Sun of Ogbomoso, Jimoh, kicked the bucket. All occurred in under 5 months. Another Olubadan has been introduced, yet the Sun stays empty. With the death of Alaafin Adeyemi, it is currently the turn of the Aginloy ruling house to create the following Oyo ruler. Mr. Adeyemi's ancestor, Babalola, was from the Aginloy house. Nigerians have started responding to the death of the ruler via web-based entertainment, with many honoring the Alaafin of Oyo's rule. The Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi, has passed on. Alaafin Adeyemi passed on in the late long stretches of Friday at the Babalola University Teaching Hospital, Ado Ekiti, the capital of Ekiti State Capital. Sources said the remaining parts of the top Yoruba conventional ruler were brought to Oyo town in the early long periods of Saturday and customary rituals started, royal residence sources told this paper. He was 83 years of age and the longest supreme Alaafin ever, having controlled for a considerable length